TV soap news and spoilers say that today we're delving into a dramatic storyline that's been making waves on Days of Our Lives. Sophia's unexpected pregnancy, the challenges she's facing in her final days of carrying her child, and the looming threat of premature labor. This is a story that has not only captivated audiences, but also raised serious questions about what will happen to Sophia, her baby, and the people who love her. Will Sophia's premature labor become a reality? Will her determination to experience life, including going to the prom, put her and her baby at risk? Let's break down the key points of this unfolding narrative and try to predict where it might be headed. A surprising discovery: Sophia and Tate's unexpected pregnancy. To truly understand the gravity of Sophia's situation, let's start at the beginning. Just a few months ago, Sophia Choi and her boyfriend Tate discovered that they were expecting a child. An unexpected and incredibly surprising pregnancy that changed the course of their lives. While pregnancy is often a joyous occasion, for Sophia and Tate, the news came as a complete shock. The couple had not planned for a baby, and the sudden realization that their lives would soon be forever altered left them both reeling. But despite the initial shock, Sophia and Tate slowly began to adjust to the idea of becoming parents, navigating the challenges of an unexpected pregnancy together. As the weeks went by, Sophia's pregnancy progressed rapidly, and her belly grew bigger with each passing day. This should have been a time of joy and anticipation, but for Sophia, things were not as simple as they seemed. Pregnancy, while a beautiful experience for many, has its fair share of risks, especially for those who face complications, as we've seen with Sophia's health problems in the months leading up to her due date. Sophia's health struggles, headaches, dizziness, and bed rest. As the pregnancy continued, Sophia began experiencing a series of alarming health problems. She started to suffer from persistent headaches and dizziness, symptoms that were concerning to her doctors and family. Sarah, a trusted advisor, told Sophia that she needed to take things slow, advising her to rest in bed for the remainder of the pregnancy. This was a difficult pill to swallow for Sophia, who had been looking forward to experiencing all the milestones that come with being a senior in high school. Among the many events she had been anticipating, prom was one of the biggest. Sophia had dreamed of attending prom in full regalia, celebrating with her friends, and marking the end of her high school experience with an unforgettable night. But Sarah, worried about Sophia's health and the potential complications with her pregnancy, made it clear that attending prom would not be a wise choice. For Sophia, this was a crushing blow. Prom was supposed to be a night of celebration, the culmination of years of hard work and friendships, but now, thanks to her health complications, it was no longer an option. However, Tate, ever the supportive and loving boyfriend, was determined to make the best of the situation. He refused to let Sophia feel as though she had to miss out on such an important part of her life, even if circumstances had changed. He promised to do everything he could to make Sophia's prom night special, even if it meant planning a private celebration at home. But could his efforts truly make up for the disappointment and heartache that Sophia was feeling? Tate's plan, a private celebration for Sophia Tate, understanding how much prom meant to Sophia, began to put together a plan to make her feel loved and celebrated, despite the restrictions on her health. The idea of hosting a private prom at home was a sweet and thoughtful gesture, and Tate did his best to make it as close to the real prom experience as possible. From setting up decorations and playing music to making sure that Sophia felt like the belle of the ball, Tate's determination to bring joy to her during this difficult time was evident. Yet, as much as Tate tried to make things perfect, there was an undeniable undercurrent of tension. Sophia, while deeply grateful for Tate's efforts, was still struggling with the sense of loss that came with missing out on prom. It wasn't just about the dress or the dancing, it was about the milestones that she had dreamed of for so long, the experiences that had defined the high school years for many of her peers. No matter how hard Tate worked to recreate that magic at home, Sophia couldn't shake the feeling that something was missing. This is where the real drama of the story begins to unfold. Sophia, feeling increasingly trapped by the confines of her bed rest and the limitations imposed by her pregnancy, may decide that she's had enough. Could she go behind Tate's back and sneak off to the prom anyway? Despite all the advice she's received and the risks she knows she's taking, will Sophia's desire to experience life push her to make a dangerous decision? The risk of premature labor, a life-threatening decision. As the prom date approaches, the tension mounts. Sophia's body is sending her warning signs: headaches, dizziness, and a growing sense of exhaustion that she can't ignore. But with each passing day, her desire to feel normal grows stronger. The thought of missing out on one of the most important moments of her life becomes unbearable. Sophia knows that going to prom could put her baby at risk, but the temptation to defy the restrictions is too strong to ignore. If Sophia decides to sneak off to the prom, despite the doctor's orders, the consequences could be severe. Premature labor is one of the greatest risks associated with high-risk pregnancies, and by going against medical advice, Sophia could trigger early labor, putting both her life and the life of her baby in jeopardy. The repercussions of such a decision could be catastrophic, not only for Sophia but for Tate, who would undoubtedly blame himself for not being able to keep her safe. The emotional stakes couldn't be higher. Tate is doing everything he can to support Sophia, but he can't control her every move. Will he be able to stop her if she decides to go to prom? Or will he have to face the consequences of her actions, regardless of his own feelings? The question remains, can Sophia resist the urge to rebel against the confines of her bed rest, or will her desire to have one last experience as a normal teenager lead to premature labor? Will Sophia and Tate lose their baby? As viewers, we are left in suspense, wondering how this drama will play out. Will Sophia's health complications escalate to the point where she goes into premature labor? Will Tate's best efforts to make her feel special at home be enough to keep her from making a life-threatening decision? Or will the consequences of her actions prove too much for them to handle? This story is still unfolding, and the drama surrounding Sophia's premature labor is far from over. We can only wait and watch as the next chapters unfold, holding our breath to see whether Sophia's desire for one final moment of teenage normalcy will put her and her baby in harm's way. As always, we are left with questions and uncertainty, but one thing is for sure: Days of Our Lives has once again delivered a heart-wrenching storyline filled with emotion, risk, and the unpredictable nature of life. Will Sophia's premature labor become a reality, or will her determination to experience prom be her undoing? Our TV channel Soap News and Spoilers is the place for those who want to know how the Salem story goes, as well as great Days of Our Lives updates and news. So subscribe to our channel to get what you want. Bye-bye.